Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. So, Harry Littman writes of Cannon, she's consistently indulged Trump's far-fetched legal arguments and overall strategy of delay, but her latest order confirms she has truly crossed the line into running interference for him. The order, his lawyers claim the Presidential Record Act gives him the power to reclassify any and all records as personal. This frivolous argument wouldn't get anywhere in most federal courts. That's the thing, Allison, in terms of legal experts predicting things, or you even mentioned the Supreme Court about taking the immunity thing. We're not somehow in a legal universe anymore where legal stuff makes sense. We're in a partisan hack universe where if you get an Aileen Cannon or enough judges on the Supreme Court, you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Well, do you remember over a couple years ago when I was on your show and I was like, we have to decide what is justice, how we define justice. And for me, it was him being indicted,
Right.
right? And this is why, because it's all out of the administration's and the DOJ's hands once this guy is indicted. And so that was my measure of justice. He could be acquitted, if you get
Right.
one rogue juror, which I
Yeah.
know they're working very hard to do over on the
Yeah.
Trump side.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, I'm with you, 100% with you on
so
this. It's
he's Harry.
frustrating as all get out.
Yeah, Harry says it remains a crime of the Espionage Act to willfully retain national defense information. The documents at the center of this case clearly are. He keeps talking about this stupid Clinton socks thing. That was tape recordings they weren't classified information. They belonged to Bill Clinton. Anyway. Cannon's order doesn't address Trump's arguments on the merits. It instructs each side to submit two sets of proposed jury instructions. Both of the conclusions being directly contrary to the law. Cannon's order isn't just legally nonsensical, it's also bizarre and pernicious. It's a completely loony way to address Trump's motion to dismiss the case on the basis of the records law, asking the parties to frame jury instructions based on a legal fiction, indeed fantasy, months before a jury has even been selected is perfectly surreal. I've never seen a remotely similar order. But the bottom line, Ellison, is, Harry seems to go on to say, it appears she may have been smart enough to find a way where she doesn't get removed or recused, even though she's making these ridiculous rulings.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Because if she dismisses this thing, which it sounds like she does, she thinks the PRA protects him, then they go right to the 11th Circuit, and the 11th Circuit has already decided twice in her face, specifically,
Right.
that taking records doesn't make them personal, and classified records are never personal. So she doesn't want to get to the 11th Circuit, but she also wants to. And by the way, that idea of those jury instructions, they found that it did come from Trump's lawyers. So she's taking her cues from Trump's legal team to put out these bizarre things.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I'm afraid it's more likely she'll probably give bad jury instructions, but she could just dismiss the whole case outright. And by that time, the grand jury, or not the grand jury, the jury will have been impaneled and double jeopardy would attach. So if she dismisses, these charges cannot be brought again.
Yeah, that's exactly what Harry says. He says the latest order appears to set the stage for recognition of Trump's ridiculous legal claims down the line in jury instructions. That's a particularly ominous prospect because at that point the jury would have been impaneled. Double jeopardy clause would preclude retrial. She may have hit upon a strategy that gives Trump the delay he wants and then dismisses the case once the jury has been sworn in while never exposing herself to being reined in or forced off the case by the 11th Circuit, all of which leaves Smith facing a tricky choice. It's not an easy call, especially when the umpire seems to be playing for the other team. What does Jack Smith do, in your opinion? I mean, I'm always and forever hopeful about things because you just, right? I mean, man,
Well,
because that would be a whole new ball game if, for whatever
you brought
reason,
up
she were removed
mandamus.
or, yeah, go ahead.
You brought up mandamus. That's one thing that can happen. I don't know that Jack Smith will go that far, although he was extremely responsive in Eileen Cannon's court when she brought up releasing the witness lists, which she still hasn't ruled on, by the way.
Yeah,
Um, and he's a pretty bold guy. Remember when he went straight to the Supreme Court,
yeah,
where when he wrote a letter to Donald Trump on Thanksgiving? I mean, he's a pretty bold prosecutor. He may go the mandamus route, but I think he'll probably respond to this filing by saying, you can't make me write jury instructions based on a misinterpretation of the law, the 11th Circuit's interpretation of the law, which you are subject to, so I won't do it. If
yeah,
you don't think that this PRA, that this applies, you need to dismiss this case, and
yeah,
then I can appeal it. I
yeah.
think that's what he's going to do, at next step at least.
Okay. By the way, that was a great. I loved the movie Mandamus. Didn't you? Rock Me Mandamus. I love that song.
It's a good
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Amadeus. I'm incorrect. I can't keep track of all these. What is en banc? What are
En
these?
banc.
En banc.
That
What
means
is
everybody.
What is cert? What is Mandamus? Why? You know what? I wanted to tell fart jokes in my basement. I didn't want to go to law school. Why? Why? It's so much work.
Dude, I told D jokes for 10 years on stage.
Yes.
Me too.
And by the way, the government was fine with that. They just fired me from my government job when the D joke was Donald Trump.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, I've had to go to law school too. I just wanted to do D jokes all day. I'm with you. I'm upset with you.
I didn't think I'd have to learn stuff.
I'm like, let's do a funny show about the Mueller thing.
I wanted to do Rock
I
Me
am.
Mandamus jokes. Okay. That wasn't even that was a stretch.
Yeah, that was.
Sounds sort of like Amadeus.
Yeah, that was a little doughy. You need to put that back in to bake a little more.
It's the light bulb went out in my easy bake joke oven.
Exactly. Yeah.
I liked it.
Thanks, Alison. Here's the here's the good news: is you just have to hope that he can't afford good lawyers. I don't know. This headline yesterday: Holy backfire. Expert says SCOTUS filing misciting Brett Kavanaugh could blow up in Trump's face. Trump's lawyers on Tuesday told the Supreme Court if they don't grant him absolute immunity about his effort to overturn the election, it would incapacitate every future president. His brief quoted Kavanaugh, but misstated what he had written. Trump's brief cited an old law review article. Kavanaugh wrote, "A president who is concerned about an ongoing criminal investigation is almost inevitably going to do a worse job as president." But Kavanaugh went on to write that was not an argument against prosecuting a former president. He said the point is not to put the president above the law or to eliminate checks on the president, but simply to defer litigation and investigations until the president is out of office. Ryan Goodman tweeted, "Holy backfire." Kavanaugh actually said a former president is not immune. So I hope he keeps hiring people like Alina Habba, bless me.
Bless you.
Well, this is what he does. He picks the best evidence against him, cherry picks it, and puts it out as evidence for him. He did this with Marbury v. Madison. He's like, Marbury v. Madison says that my actions are not reviewable by a court. But the very next sentence says, unless you commit a crime. So he cherry picks these things, and they actually turn out being the ultimate backfire of all time. He's very good at that. But they don't have any other defense.
Yeah. See, they're the only party, too, that would try to prosecute a president while in office for a consensual BJ, right? Yeah. It's like, he is, guilty of such serious crimes, Allison, and it just, I keep going back to, I just think the founders did not envision this entire thing happening and an entire party being his defense team, did they?
God, I wish it was just lying about a BJ,
Because then we could go back to our D jokes, right?
Remember the simple times? Remember when misspelling potato got you kicked off a campaign?
Remember Howard Dean just screaming once? Or I watched the Gary Hart thing, one picture with one woman, he was gone.
Wearing a tan suit.
Way pre-rapist for president, yeah.
Oh, God. Those were the days. Those were the days.
My friend.
Oh, you were singing two different songs.
Oh, yeah, we were. You were going Edith Bunker, and I was going, I thought they'd never end. Those were the
It was a good mashup.
Yeah. Do a mashup.